Here's Gregg Berhalter on where is John Brooks.
There's absolutely nothing beyond form with John. We think that he has the opportunity to play a role with us in the future. For this window, we decided based on how we're looking at these games and what are the strengths of our opponent, that he wouldn't be the best fit for this particular window.
Okay, Taylor, what's really going on here between John Brooks, Gregg Berhalter, and this national team? Is it just down to form?
No, John Brooks was terrible in the first window of World Cup qualifiers. That's what this is. And for Gregg, he looked at it and said, no, he doesn't fit into this situation. Even John Brooks understood it with some of his quotes after the first round of World Cup qualifying games. Herc, you and I actually spoke about this as well. He wasn't good. He was nowhere near to the level he needed to be at. Now, can Gregg Berhalter come out and say that? No. But do I think he could have given a different quote? Yeah, because I would argue the form of John Brooks right now at the end of January of 2022 has been fairly good.
Yeah.
And it's been strong. And especially when you look at majority of your players are coming off of an offseason in MLS, that's where you can't, to me, say it's just form because well, his form's good in comparison to everyone else. If you come out and say, you know what, he doesn't fit into my plans, Herc, I don't know if we're talking about it right now. But to come out and say the word form, that's where all of us that watch the Bundesliga regularly, particularly the games with the U.S. men's national team players playing a part in it, that's where the present moment, I'm going to disagree with Gregg and say, well, his form's been pretty good in Germany, but it wasn't good in World Cup qualifying. So you have every right to say, you know what, he's not my plans. I just don't believe it's form.
Wolfsburg is not in form. John Brooks is in form. John Brooks is playing regularly. Yeah. Out of the 20 games that were available for him to play, he only didn't play in 3. He started in 15, came on as a sub on the rest. John Brooks is a very good player. He had a bad opening window where he didn't start against El Salvador. He played against Canada, had problems in transition. There was a moment where there was maybe a disagreement between him and Gregg on the sideline, and we've not seen him since. Now, if he's going to say form, and I will strictly stay with the center backs, well, Mark McKenzie's only played about half the games in Belgium. Zimmerman and Miles Robinson are coming off a lengthy layoff of 50-plus days. What are we talking about form? I would respect it more if he just said, you know what, not my cup of tea. He's just not doing it for me. I don't rate him as a player. I don't need him right now. Or there are other players ahead of him. Because we've heard that in the past from U.S. men's national team managers. I respect it a lot more than saying, well, it's strictly based off form, because it's clearly not.
It's crazy to think that there's a guy who was starting in the Champions League, and there are 4 center back candidates that the U.S. men's national team head coach thinks are ahead of him.
Yep.
But that's really the case that Gregg Berhalter is making on form right now. I always think with the center back position, experience matters. If you look at the other 4 guys called up, you add all their caps together. It's basically what Brooks has. So, you can say whatever you want about Brooks' play, but I think there's some value in that experience.